Testimony about 2016 hearing, criminal hearing that a colleague, an acquaintance of mine, invited me to as a guest, as sort of an audience. That's apparently a thing in the Polish criminal system. So I was told. So Krzysztof SZ, I don't know his last name. I met this guy in 2008-9 through a friend, Tomasz, who serves in the police department in Gdansk since 2007, I think. Tomasz started working for the Gdansk police department. We met playing airsoft, as stated in my 70-page disclosure. Tomasz. So I met Krzysiek Esch through Tomasz. They would oftentimes drive, park underneath. Oftentimes, on a couple of occasions, they would park underneath my, parents' flat. Large van. I would come downstairs. We would have a conversation. So picture, me standing in front of all the balconies, all the neighbors, having conversation with two cops. From my perspective, it looks pretty cool. But, if someone wants to create some sort of impression, open for interpretation, right? For me, it's nobilitating, right? I'm standing there in front of my balcony, neighbors, all the neighbors in front of the block. There's a large police van. I'm talking to guys wearing vests and everything, and laughing jokes and stuff. So for me, it looks cool, but you never know, right? So these guys were working together since 2007, ever since, right? On one occasion, they even picked me up in a police car from train station in Gdansk, and I would sit in the back of the police car and they would drive me home. So for me, again, it looks like cool stuff. I'm thinking that's pretty cool, right? If someone wants to create an impression, how does this look like, right? I never thought about this. For me, it's cool stuff, right? I don't think anyone else in my position would have declined, right? It looks cool. It's an experience, right? So they even turned into street using a handbrake slightly, winter time, so it kind of, it slid, rolled slightly like in films, kind of funny, memorable, definitely. So these guys have been partners for a while, and at some point there was some sort of an incident where, and this is based on Tomasz statements, right? Because again, this may not necessarily be the real situation, what actually happened. This is what they're telling me. The theme here is these people are plotting against me, and there's all kinds of stuff happening, right? And what they're telling me might differ completely from what is happening, right? So, but what I was told is they got a call about some vandals, hooligans, some kids destroying a bus stop, damaging a bus stop, and they arrived and they as per Tomasz's claim, they beat the shit out of them, and they got accused for abuse of power. It's technically criminal offense. What's interesting is the Krzysztof guy got suspended, but Tomasz carried on his work, so it would imply that it was the Krzysztof guy, more senior guy, by the way, experience-wise, age-wise, who was the perpetrator, right, in that particular situation. But anyway, so as of 2010, 11, 12, the latest that they were telling me is that those hearings were being postponed and everything, that it was just postponement. So fast forward to 2016. I was in Poland in September. So 2016, this is when I was made redundant at Lebara, along with the vast majority of the office. I was made redundant at the end of June, 26, 27, 28. Got back to Poland on 7th or 8th of July, 2016. I was in Poland at the time. So this is when I get invited to this hearing, right? Krzysztof tells me that he has a hearing date, criminal proceedings, right? That would be in September 2016. There's pictures in my gallery of Krzysztof wearing a suit, oversized suit, by the way. He looked kind of funny, as if it was done on purpose, and chances are it was. These people are recording, probably filming, taking pictures. It's all laughs and giggles for these people. But anyways, oversized suit, that's definitely memorable, because I thought to myself, just looked like he borrowed a suit from his dad. That's how it looked like. It just slightly oversized suit, and I think it shows in the picture as well. So it's him standing in front of the court with his phone in the on the right hand side. So yeah, so he invited me me as audience, right? So I show up. The first thing that was surprising was the fact that Thomas wasn't there, right? So kind of like these guys were two officers who responded to that call, right? And Thomas is not present, right? I mean, he would be the witness on his behalf to his statement, right? He would be because it was two of them who responded to that call, right? But I didn't think about it at the time. I just thought, oh, that's odd, right? So I show up. We sit down in a courtroom, and that courtroom, that room was super small. I thought to myself, what embarrassing place to have a hearing in, like just destroys the seriousness of the whole thing. It just looked like a room, slightly larger than an average living room, right? So yeah, and the suspects, the claimants in that particular case, right? The three kids or whatever who got beat up, supposedly. None of them was there. None of it was just mom. It was just one of there's one or two moms. There was one mom probably, and that's it. So I'm sitting next to Krzysztof, literally next to him. So it does kind of look like, and now it only recently, when this whole thing started to, all those puzzles started to align. How does this look like? I'm sitting in a courtroom in front of, judge next to the guy who's accused of something serious. I look like I'm his partner or something. Like I look like Thomas, right? Because you have two guys, right? Or maybe someone wanted to create a different impression. Bear in mind, there's a situation where I was driven in the back of a police car. For me, for laughs and giggles, right? They offered that. But how does this look like, right? Picture someone trying to frame you into something, right? So anyway, so we're sitting in this courtroom. The suspect, the claimants, the kids who were destroying the bus stop, who got supposedly beat up, are not there. It's just someone's mom. And the judge, they made phone calls to see where those claimants are. Turned out that they were actually arrested at that time. They were being arrested at the time. So that I'm thinking, okay, that completely destroys their credibility, right? The mom was talking. There was something to do with dental records, that someone lost a tooth or something. That was definitely memorable with this one. It was just it now from times at the time I thought to myself it looked like a piss take. It did not look serious at all, this whole situation. The attorney of Krzysztof was some sort of a Krzysztof is bald himself, but his attorney was a bald dude. He looked like he just came out of the gym, like like veins and everything, like a pump, right, muscle pump. Like he looked like he was working out prior to going to the. He put on the whatever the suit, the whatever the thing that they wear. It just literally looked like a freaking, that game Hitman video game. Also, guy was bald, right? It looked like he dressed up, and maybe they did that for a reason, to let me know that this is all fugazi, right? Maybe they did that on purpose to let me know that this is all, reference to a video game. Bald guy, and he, like literally put on the freaking thing on top of his, casual clothing, right? He did not, during the hearing, I don't think, no, yeah, he did say something. I don't recall any specifics. Yeah, he did represent Krzysztof. And then the hearing, the proceedings ended up being postponed as well. Yeah, so that was funny. I thought to myself, this whole thing looked like a piss take. So as we were coming out of the courtroom, that attorney catches up with us, and the super memorable thing that he said that it doesn't matter who's right. The number of cops in prison has to match, something like that. The number of arrested cops has to match. Like super freaking memorable what he said. I thought to myself, how outrageous to say, and this is supposedly a lawyer, right? So from time's perspective, it's all fugazi. They're dropping hints or something, right? Yeah, we walked out of the courtroom, and this is when I took that picture of Krzysztof standing in front of it with the phone, oversized suit. We got into his car, Nissan 350Z, very slightly over the budget for an average cop in Poland, and he had that car ever since I met him. So 2008, 7, 9. Nissan 350Z. You know, it's a sports car. So yeah, we drove off to Gdansk, central Gdansk. We grabbed a beer. I think he had an all-alcoholic one or whatever. There was a funny situation when we parked. There was a something to do with putting coins inside of the parking machine. Someone approached us, and I made something funny, some joke. It was definitely memorable. I just didn't, like, I was telling the guy how to use the parking, pretending to tell the guy how to use the parking meter. Something irrelevant, right? But definitely memorable. Just highlighting how memorable that day was. Yeah, we went to grab a beer. Yeah, Krewetka, near Krewetka Cinema, Gdansk Główny, Central Gdansk. There's going to be, during that beer, I had a call from one of my prospective wedding clients, I think Evelina and Łukasz. Evelina, on my Facebook list, a Scottish couple, a Polish couple living in Scotland. They had a wedding. I filmed it in 2017. June 2017. I would have to double check, but it was most likely them. It was a call from them on Skype. We were just discussing, that wedding contract. I quickly checked went somewhere else to answer a couple of questions, and that's it. And then I went back. We finished. He dropped me off, most likely, and that's it. And as you can see, the best evidence for that is someone tries to tamper with the evidence. On my iCloud, someone changed the date from 15th September 2016 to May 31st, 2063, whatever the clearly. And that, I checked this image. Maybe a month, two ago. The date was correct. It was 15th of September. It was September 15th, 2016. So this change was done recently.